Biggest influence in my life was my mother and father's, by far. And possibly the Maynard James Keenan from the band Tool. But again, this kind of goes back to education in school. Not going to primary school, not going to high school. I didn't learn to listen to other people. No, I didn't learn to like take advice and not having my mother and my father. There was no influence anywhere. I didn't find it anywhere. I mean, my father's death, it changed me as a person, for sure. I think I would have been a very, very different character if I had not witnessed what my father did. Even had he just separated with my mother and they went on their own way, I would have probably grew up a little bit broken, not having a family structure. But I'd have grew up a better character. My mind would have been better, my heart and soul would have been a little bit better. It wouldn't have been so corrupt, it wouldn't be so bleak. My father's death, it influenced me to this day, with my child especially, because not having a father growing up, I didn't know how to be a father when I became one. So I just had to wing it, as you would say. And I keep on being told that I'm a great father by everybody I know, and everybody knows my son. They say I'm an amazing father. My son, prior to him being taken off me, would tell me he loved me 100 times a day, sometimes more. He would tell me so much it would annoy me. When I think about that now, I hate that, because I would break my own fingers right now. I'd cut my fucking fingers off my hand, never to play the guitar again, just to hear my son tell me he loves me again, right now. So when I think about how it used to annoy me, sometimes I get really, really fucking sad there. But my father's death, my father's suicide, made me a great father. My mother, and the way her treatment is towards me, it influenced me in a number of horrible ways that it shouldn't, because my relationship with women is so weird because of that. I guess not having a relationship with your mother, Freud would probably know exactly what the words to use here, but not having a relationship with my mother has made my relationships with women hard work, I would say, is the best way to describe it. Any previous girlfriends I've had, they've always said that I treat them well. I'm very, that I'm a good man, but I'm not nice. I don't know if you get that. Maybe it's the lack of, I don't know how to communicate with them properly, perhaps. I don't know how to communicate with anybody properly. Like I was saying, I don't have a relationship with my mother. Well, my mother came to Canada not that long ago. She came over to help me with my current situation that I'm in. And she's not spoke to me since she left. She came over for a week. She flew all the way over from Scotland for 1 week. I couldn't understand that, why she would do that. Because my help is it's going to take longer than a week. But when she left after being over here for a week, and I only saw her for 2 days, the time she was here. We spoke maybe 4 hours of those 2 days. I asked her where the fucking help was. Where is the help? I thought you came to help me. And she took offence by that. And she's not spoke to me since she went back home. Which is nothing really new, because we don't really speak to each other. I hate to say this, but I don't like my mother. I don't like the way she treated me growing up. I don't like the fact that she worked so much and she wasn't there. Because I needed somebody so bad. And I just wish she was there more. I would have rather been hungry. I'd have rather had second-hand clothes. I'd I'd have rathered anything than not having a relationship with my only living parent. But since my father died, we've never had a relationship.
Do you think there's a path forward? Can you fix that?
I think my mother's ill. I think my mother's not well, so there's possibly not. I don't love my mother. I don't even know if I like her. I want to love her, I want to like her. She's done really nothing wrong, apart from work hard for me. I guess that makes me ungrateful. Whatever. I don't like the fact that she called me a man when I was 16. Yet, I was so immature, because I had no growth from not going to high school or, you know what I mean? Like, it was, you're a man, you need to go out the house now. You need to find your own way. I moved into an apartment and all I did was take drugs. Every day, just do drugs. And my mother should have been on top of that as a parent. She should have been saying, I don't want this to happen. Now that it's happening, I need to do something about it. But she never intervened. She never intervened when I was cutting myself or I told her I wanted to die. She never intervened when I eventually get thrown out my first apartment and I'm on the streets, sleeping rough. She never intervened when the first time she go over to Canada and she saw my wife abusing me. And she saw somebody who was no longer a resemblance of her son. I wish I had a picture of my passport to show you, because I can't use it for identification anymore. I don't like the... Thankfully I've got a beard there and some neck tattoos showing. So, I'm not the same person as I was. I got my passport photo taken 3 months before I came to Canada. And I'm unrecognisable. And that's not the drugs. I wish it was. I wish it was. Both of them negatively. Well, my father's suicide was kind of, in a weird way, positive with my son, as I say, because it made me a great father, not knowing what to do. I'm doing it right with him. I'm doing it right, and I love being a father. It's the best thing in the world. I've never been so happy. I've never been so committed to something. And my son is so nice. He's so polite. He's so friendly. And he loves me so much. He loves you so much, you know, and he'll tell Andy that. I love him so much. He'll say you're the best daddy. I say, how do you know you've only got one? You know, wait till your mother remarries and you've had the chance to have two. Then you can say if I'm the best daddy or not. But the only other influence I could say would be Maynard James Keenan from the band Tool, who changed my life as an artist. I never listened to rock music or metal. My favourite artist as a teenager was David Hasselhoff. Yes.
You're not even German.
No, I'm not even German, that's just it. You know, and it was nothing to do with Knight Rider as much as Michael Knight was cool. It was his music and his leather jacket. And I used to listen to him and I used to listen to ABBA, Kylie Minogue. My taste in music was terrible. Then one day I met a boy called Gareth Gill. He was a friend of my cousin's. I was round visiting my cousin and there was this little goth sitting in the corner cutting himself with a razor blade. He had headphones in. And I was like, what are you doing, man? He's like, I just hurt myself. I was like, no, not that, man. What music are you listening to? And he gave me his headphones and said, it's a band called Tool. And I put the headphones in, and what happened next was, to quote Bill Hicks, fittingly, was a squeegee clean of my third eye. It was a revelation that happened, an epiphany. It was the song Jimmy. It was playing off the Enema album. And I'd never heard anything like this. I'd never heard language like this. I'd never heard music like this. I'd never heard somebody emote and like to pass off emotion like this. And it moved me in such a way that prior to this, like I was into the rave scene. I was listening to a lot of rave music as well. I couldn't get enough of it once I heard it. I needed more. And I went and met this boy the next day where he burned a CD for me. And I took it home and I listened to it non-stop. And a week later I was like, what else do you listen to? I need more, like this is amazing. Why are you cutting yourself when you've got this music? No, he's very, 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 very sad man at the time. Very sad man. I understand, but beautiful man. He's actually a psychiatric nurse now. Deals with elderly suffering from mental health problems. But he says, I've got some other CDs that I'll give you. So he brought me Soundgarden album, The Super Unknown. He brought me Mr. Bungle, which is Mike Patton from Faith No More's other project. And he brought me Pearl Jam. I just couldn't believe that music like this existed. They're all very different kind of styles of music, apart from Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, I guess, but these were people who were saying some really sad things, but were important. They were conveying how they were feeling in a way that was amazing because the music behind it, like these guys get to actually say this and they have music and they can call it rock and roll. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. But Maynard James Keening from Tool, even to this day, he inspires me as an artist. It makes me want to be a better artist, better singer, better guitarist, a better writer. The way he expresses himself is so unique, so creative, and so different. I like the way the juxtaposition between him being honest and him being vague. You never really knew what he was talking about with his lyrics, and I like that because as a writer myself, I would kind of do the same thing. You know, I would kind of circumvent an issue and I get to it eventually, but on the road there it would be a very different way of getting there with writing. You know, I would bastardise words, phrases to make them my own. And as a positive, Maynard James Keening for sure was an influence for me.